It's Tasted Thursday. It's Tasted Thursday. And we drinking some Zetta. And we drinking some Zetta. Get into it. Hey, get into it. Hey. All right, you guys. What's going on? My name is Isis Daniel, and I am the Millennial Summer. We are here for Tasted Thursday. If you guys are ready, and I know the light's doing some funkiness, but we just gonna push past it. If you guys are ready for today, let me know what's going on, Mr. Anthony Jr. What's going on, homie? Thank you so much for congratulating me. I mean, I am very, y'all better stop saying congratulations to me. Thank you guys so much for the love and the support that you have shown me throughout, my whole entire wine experience, but most recently, getting my level 3 with Merit. I'm super excited about that. But I'm even more excited about the wine that we're going to be tasting today. Get into it. I know you see it. In fact, you guys, I forgot to put on my my little filter so I can turn this thing backwards. We back. And it's a little filter on my face. Ew, that is not what I wanted. Hold up, you guys. I know I'm being simple right now, but I just want to be able to switch this thing around. Boom! And we together. Okay. We go ahead and take that off. All right, so here we are. Zetta, that's what we're going to be tasting today. This is Cedric the Entertainer's wine. If you knew that Cedric had his own wine label, let me know in the chat below. Because I had no idea until one day I'm scrolling, minding my business, and I see Ian Devereux, who we're going to be talking to today, okay, hanging out with the Cedric the Entertainer, talking about his new wine. And so I knew that we had to have that on for not only Black History Month, but, for the people. We have to know that everyone who has the wines. Duh. Who you saying duh to? You see, my fault, my supporters, y'all too comfortable, okay? But I'm so happy to be here. We're gonna go ahead and sing the jingle so that Ian can hear it, because just in case he didn't know, I might ask him to sing it along with us, okay? Melanated Vine, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, come on, from Northern California. Y'all, when I tell you I was having the hardest time just now to say California, I was like, what? Just read the word, right? But no, my brain wasn't doing it for me. Is it a blend? Yes, it is a red blend. I believe it's 65% Merlot, 33 Cabernet Sauvignon, and 2% Syrah. And it's 65% Merlot. I don't know if that's what I said or not, but that's what we're working with today, okay? Young Doc is in the building, the official Sip Society. Hello. Yes. All Cedric, okay? So comfy. Hi, Ian. Can we talk about that Erykah Badu head wrap? Mr. Noel, you can always leave. You don't have to be here if you're going to be mean to me. Okay? Because you always mean to me. What is that, Mr. Noel? Talk to me. What is that? Okay? All right. I'm just joking, you guys. If you know me and Noel's relationship, he's always being mean to me. Thanks so much for the congratulations, you guys. Oh, Cedric is in the building. Wait. Y'all, all right, let's just go ahead and do this. Without further ado, let's add our guests in the house, because I am not prepared. Let's do it. That's 1. That's 2. I've never had more than one guest on my show, so you guys got to bear with me. Hold up. Woo! How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great.
There he is. What's up, Ed?
Yes! How are you doing? Hello? Is everybody here? Oh, no, we can't hear you. Oh, man, come on. We got to get the sound together. But while we're waiting for Cedric to get the sound together, come on and talk to me. Ian, tell us about who you are and why you are here. Come on through.
Well, I think since Ced's here, I'll start with this project. This project started with really, Ced and I had a friend in common, and we spent the day in the vineyard. And he came out and he was like, "Hey, is there gonna be food?" Because it was around lunchtime. And I was like, oh, well, I'm making sandwiches for my kids, sun butter and jelly sandwiches with my kids. For my kids, I got that and muffins. And he was like, great, that's perfect. And so we met in the vineyards and had this picnic lunch, and we laughed pretty much the entire time. And then we started blending. We started blending some of the things that I had in barrel. We started blending some of the things that I had already made. We spent some time hanging out in the vines, and I mean, hours passed, and it was a really easy friendship. And that's what this whole thing started with, and what it's about, and what it has been about is just friendship, kindness, and it's from start to finish. Like, the word that always comes up is authentic, because
Yeah.
Seth has been a huge part of this from the very initial blending to what his flavor profile was, what he wanted. And then he got his family involved, and his wife and his sister and all these other people who, they all work together to come up with these different blends, and we're sending different things down their way, and we're meeting. And it was just such a cool thing to see people who cared so much about every little detail. And so it truly is Cedric's wine. We grow the grapes, we work together, but at the end of the day, this wine is what he loved. And when we had our first event, which was sort of impromptu, Ced pulled the whole thing together, and it was beautiful. He was there, his sister was there, his brother-in-law was there, his son was there, and everybody was wearing pieces of jewelry or hats that were his mother's. And we named this after his mother, this whole wine after his mother. And so hopefully Cedric will be able to come back on and say.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wanted to tell him if he just make sure that his Instagram app is most updated. Can you text him that and then just log back in?
Let me see. He's on top of this stuff, so maybe it might have to do some time. We'll see if he comes back.
It's okay. He'll
He's
be back. It's okay.
All right. So,
But I mean, I think I love that,
sign
because
out
even
and I'll
when
let him in.
He's back. Oh no, not yet.
Said he's back. Maybe I should sign out and let him in, and you two can have a conversation. Then I'll jump back on, see if I'm the problem.
We can see. He's back in. Okay, go ahead and re-request. Hopefully he can hear, because he wasn't able to hear at first for a second. But I mean, I'm still just so excited to hear your story, how you guys got together, because I know when I talked to you the other day, it was just awesome hearing how inclusive you are, how much you are just so passionate about wine. I want to dive deeper even into your background story too, for sure.
Absolutely.
Right?
All right, there he is.
Word. Can we hear you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I got a call from my business manager as soon as y'all came on, so I had to jump. I got a lot of stuff going on. What's up, Ian? What up, my dog?
What's up, my man? Good to see you.
It's good.
It's
how
awesome
you doing?
to have you. Everybody's been excited to tune in. We've been sipping your wine on TikTok. We have a live tasting every Thursday at 6 o'clock, and so everyone's super excited to go out and to support you. Congratulations on this new venture.
Thank you so much. I mean, of course, been sipping on the wine for a while. Yes, this kind of your early introduction to drinking, and I'm in the Midwest. We start with cognac and then we go down to wine, but
that's why you won 14.9% alcohol. Trust me.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I had to get you nice though. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Somebody was saying that. Somebody told me like, "Yo, this actually gets you real nice right here." But really, it really stemmed from my visit in the vineyard. I just was up there. Got a mutual friend with Ian. Told me about what he does, and it just was one of those really cool things where, I love doing philanthropic, things, especially based on my mother who passed a few years ago. I got a hospital in her name. We do a lot of women's health initiatives in her name, some reading initiatives in her name. She was a reading specialist. And so when I met with Ian, the opportunity to develop a wine where I can honor her, which was one of the things she loved to do, was have a little glass of wine at the end of the day. I thought it was just, really on point. And so we worked very hard. Again, this guy knows what he's doing. It's a beautiful vineyard. We spent the day, just he and I, just really laughing, talking, got to knowing each other, and it just was one of those real natural coming togethers, So it was And so, you know, to have it come out and to have it do so well, people really enjoying it. It's winning awards. You
Yeah.
Come
know,
on.
we having great tastings. It's awesome. It's just all kind of par for the course in the sense that it has this great honor for my mom. So I love it.
But you know, one of the biggest things I talk about and that I love a wine with the cause, right? So
Yeah.
10% of the proceeds goes where?
To Red Rose Reads. That was my mom's web. That was her little email. Red Rose. She was a redhead, so that's why I did a. And she loved to read and teach reading. So Red Rose Reads is the foundation through the Kyle's Family Foundation that we give to reading initiatives all around. So.
I love it. I love
Yeah,
it
what's up, Young
so much.
Cheese? That's right. You sang along, Miss Rosetta. That's right, man. That's right.
Come on.
I see
So
y'all.
what,
You got a great
why
fan
Zetta?
base over here. That's dope. What you say, baby?
Why Zetta? Why are we,
Zetta.
you know, the inspiration between the name, the label? I mean, every time I show it, people
Yeah,
talk about how beautiful it is.
yeah. So her name was Rosetta. Of course, there was other wines in the marketplace with Rosetta or different versions of Zetta. We call, you know, our family and sisters called it Zetta. So that was how we got to the abbreviation of her name. I have a tattoo on my hand. You know, when she passed, it's got a rose and the
Let's
word
see it.
Zetta, and it's kind of dark now. You can't hardly see it. So I'm all dark skinned. Hold on, let me see what's up.
Come
You
on,
can't.
beautiful skin, chocolate skin. Come on, don't
Yeah,
talk narrative.
but
No,
my tattoo is all messed up though. Like I don't know how you can see it. So yeah, it's a rose, and then the Zeta, and then that's me and my sister. And it goes into my lifeline. So
I
that's what
love
the
it.
tattoo is right there.
I love
So if you can see it, like yo, I kind of it's like that. So anyway, that was the inspiration for you know, the name as well. And so you know, and then we, you know, I know wines enough to know what I wanted to taste. And so, you know, Ian and all the winers, they, you know, what they call Ian? What's the guys that make wine?
Winemakers or vintners?
it.
Vintners,
Yes,
yes,
but we are
yes,
vintners.
vintners. Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't want to say it wrong at first. But anyway, you know, we all work very hard, making sure that, you know, the taste that I wanted, everything that I really wanted the wine to represent, and everybody was extremely patient. That's the thing I would say. You know, whenever you know, when you putting out a product, you got an OG. You know, for me, like I got a legacy, you know, kind of personality. I've been in people's lives a long time. I usually try to do quality work. I don't really want to just put out any old thing just to be, you know, try to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, be in the game, you know what I mean? So we took a lot of time making sure we got the taste profiles, the palette, everything that we wanted, you know, to be a part of this wine. And so that's why I'm very pleased with it. And I, you know, hope, you know, like you say, you're enjoying it. A lot of other, you know, kind of tastemakers. We really appreciate y'all getting this glass, getting the glass full of it, tasting it, and getting it out there. Let's go.
Mm. You know, what you're saying, you're actually leading me to another question because I know a lot of my followers are either people who are interested in learning about wine or interested in getting into wine. And I love how you said that you knew what you wanted your wine to taste like, but that goes with understanding your palate. So I kind of want to, do you have any advice for novice wine drinkers who want to learn more about their palate and maybe possibly be able to describe what it is that they're looking for in a wine if they go that route?
Yeah, I mean, the real key thing is that, you know, it is a matter of taste, right? And it is a
Mm.
matter of the things that you really like. So, one, got to drink some wine, have a
Come
good
on.
time, do
Number
that
one.
part. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Do it responsibly. You know what I mean? But again, drink some wine, man, and then, you know, as you're looking, allow yourself to really taste what it is you're looking for. If it dries out on your tongue, if you like the way that, you know, the fruit jumps out first, but then it kind of turns into a chocolatey thing at the end. Just try to take those kind of notes, like of what it is that you feel, and one, the experience that you're having while drinking it. You know, one of the greatest things really that I could say about developing a wine with Ian and how it actually manifested itself to today is that our first experience was one that we both tried to capture every time we was making this wine, which was our first day together, like not knowing each other from Adam, like just meeting, like it was like we left as best friends. We laughed, we ate, we talked about different things. We met the family, we talked about the families. We just, he taught me about, why the vines look the way they do, when the grapes come in, all these kind of things. You just you start to like be intrigued and you get the knowledge, and therefore, when you're with each other, you're trying to have that experience. I say that with friends, when you're with the wine that you drink, the dinners that you have, you want that vibe that you're looking for. So that's how you'll know the wine you want. And if you're going to develop a wine, try to capture that. Don't settle for, I want it to be better than so and so, and all that nonsense don't matter.
You can't do, I tell people, approach wine how you approach people, right? Like you can't just judge off the back. You have to be open to experiencing and having your own take on it. But Ian, I want you to jump in because I know that this is Cedric's wine, but there are people out there who are a little bit scared to go into this lane and create their own wine without someone recreating what it is that they want. So how were you able to effectively work with Cedric to create a wine that really fits his palate and what the story he wanted to tell?
Well, the beauty of it is that it was such an easy friendship. And, when you meet somebody and you get along and everything's easy and there's that much laughter, like what said, I really agree that it's about that vibe. And so right off the bat, we connected and the vibe was easy. And so we started there. And he told me about what he liked in wines. And I had already sent him some of my wines because this was about a year and a half developing this friendship before we met and talking about wines. And he shared with me some of the things he liked about my wines. And he said, I said, just any words are fine. And some of them, he said smooth. Sometimes he said fruit. He said he doesn't like it sweet, but he wants there to be plenty of fruit in it. That's something my mom always used to say. It's got to have lots of fruit or it's not going to pair with food. And so that's something that I was leaning into. He said, I like a lot of fruit. I'm thinking, all right, so our Merlot, this is that vineyard right behind us, actually, our Merlot vineyard. I was thinking, all right, we've got some big, juicy Merlot. I think that's a good way to lean into it. And he's like, but I want it to be dry, but I don't want it to be bone dry. I don't want it to, like, dry out my mouth. And I was like, well, okay, we need to stay away from too much Cabernet. And then he said, I like things that are rich and chocolatey, and I like things that have lighter tannins. And he knew some of the wine terms, but more than anything, it was like actually watching his hands, watching the look on his face, watching his vibe, watching, kind of his passion for the wine and for what he was into. I was able to sort of start thinking, all right, cool. And so based on all of those things, we had already put together 3 or 4 blends that just had like A, B, C, D on them. And he tried one. He was like, okay, I like this. He tried the other one. He's like, and this is offensive. I was like, oh, okay. And then, then he started to put his hands on me. It got real rough for a minute there.
That's my next brand. That's my next brand. We gonna drop the offensive wine.
He's like, I'm offended. He tried to leave, but he didn't have his car, so it was good. Started throwing things at me. It got wild. No, and so then the other 2 he liked. He's like, and this is what I like about this one. And he was really able to explain what he liked using both wine terms, but more than that, it was more emotion than anything, which I think is so important when it comes to wine, because what's in the bottle is important, but it's really the story behind it. It's how you connect around the bottle. The bottle is a vehicle for telling stories, and that's really what brought us there. And so we went through those 4, and then I was like, all right, hold up, let me grab some finished wines. And so I grabbed some finished wines I had, and I blended those in. And we kept making lots and lots of different samples. We landed on 2 or 3 things that said really liked. And then I went, all right, cool. Let me go back, after we spend the day, let me go back and send you samples all based on what we did here today. And then so I sent him some more stuff. And we met up and we kept working it. And then it's like, we'd send samples down, and then his wife would come by and they would talk about it. And they'd be like, yeah, I don't know. And then we get our label designer, who's an incredible artist, but, and we just worked every last detail together. And it was every little thing that we could. There's a whole story of 4s that I think is really important to this. There's respecting his mom and what she wanted. There was, both of us coming at this like, you know what? And we said early on, all right, if neither of us make $1, that's fine. But we want to make sure we lock in that 10% for the charity. And so it was really cool right off the bat. It wasn't like, all right, well, I'm going to need a minimum of this to be involved. Instead, it was like, I'm with you. I don't care if I make $1 on this, as long as we can give to my mom's foundation. And so we, right off the bat, it's been easy, everything like that. And then the late night texts where we come up with stories, and like we make fun of like different parts of our lives, and we talk seriously about things. And so this truly is, you know, I think as much as the flavors of the wine are important, I think the friendship behind it, and the desire to do something really good for somebody who is so meaningful to Ced, but also to so many, to all the children that she taught, and to the literacy she dedicated her life to, you know, the opportunity to do something good with somebody that you care about. The whole thing's just been a beautiful opportunity.
I mean, come on, you guys. You're talking about my passions right now, because it's about community. When we talk about wine, this is what you're drinking. You have no idea, unless you do the necessary research behind the wine. You don't know the amount of love, passion, time that goes into making that bottle of wine, that was poured in that glass of wine that you are now drinking and consuming. So, I mean, I love doing my tasting Thursdays and my happy hours here so that we can really get to know you guys. But we have some questions from the gallery,
no
if we're ready. So Mr. Noel Burgess, this is my wine homie. He's huge in Napa, you guys. Where does Cedric's passion for wine come from? I know you did kind of touch on that, but there are some new viewers. If you can just share where your passion came from again.
Well, I mean, mainly, you know, for me, I started to travel quite a bit, you know, with my, you know, being a stand-up. But when I started to travel outside the country is where you know, you start to, like, you be educated on wines. Like most people, you grow up and you drinking whatever, you know, the quick one at the store, the Kendall Jacksons, you know, maybe a little glass of Canai with, you know, the Canai wine back in the day when it was like the it wine. But you know, I started to travel around France, Italy, and, you know, you go out to some of these dinners and, you know, people start to introduce you to wines. And that's when you start to, like, really trying to, you know, understand, like, oh, what's the difference here? Why does this taste better with food? And I think it's that combination of, like, really kind of having those experiences with really cool people that started to elevate me a little bit more. And that's when I really became passionate about it. And so the desire to do it. Now, you know, like, you know, collect, you get a little wine. I started, you know, grab wines from different places, and, you know, the ones that you kind of love, and you're like, all right, cool. But that's really where it stemmed from. A lot of people would want to know. I see that where people want to get the wine. It's Smith and Devereux. It's on here. You'll see Ian's name in this pen down there, smithanddevereux.com. It's where you get the wine. The wine is out now. You have to, you know, sign up and then order the wine, and it comes to you. So please, everybody, get you some. Like, I know people talking about Mother's Day coming up and cool gifts to give. Have that on point, you know. And we've been popping too. So, you know, it's like we did really well. We released it. We were talking about the fours. We released it on my mother's birthday. It was January 4th. She was born January 4th, 1944. I'm April 4th. I'm April 24th, 1964. So the fourth month on the 24th day, 1964, and she on the fourth day of 1944. So it was a lot of fours. So I did 4 flowers on there on the front. If you look at what would be like the fleur-de-lis and the green around the sides there, those are all fours. If you look very close to them in the red, right around the side of the thing, is fours all through that makes up that what looks like the kind of scripted scroll, all fours. So we, you know, we just kind of kept 4 as our number, and, you know, and it's
that's my favorite
thematic.
number.
See there's that gang.
That's why we did it, actually. It was you.
Yeah.
For real. I mean, Ian and I, when we had our conversation the other day, Ian, we were like,
Yeah, it was right away. It's easy friends. No, we agreed.
Yeah.
I want to make an announcement today, if you don't mind, Ced. We learned just yesterday morning, actually, that we got, not only did we get our second gold, but we got best in class. Zetta, I should say, got best in class at the West Coast Wine Competition. And that's a competition, I believe it's in the top 3 oldest, or one of the first competitions in America. And so established in 1982. And so we came away with best in class for red blends. So what Ced put together, what he chose, the flavor profile that he pushed our grapes to and our farming to, what he really made, or what we made together, that's now, it's winning golds and it's winning best in class. And that says that's saying a lot, because there are a lot of wines in the red blend class. And when I saw
Absolutely.
that, man, I was like calling him at like 5 in the morning. I was like, this is such an inappropriate time to call another human being, but I'm doing it. But it was like, I mean, both of us like texting in all caps, and it's as it always is that kind of excitement. So we found out yesterday our first best in class, our second gold medal, 97 points. So that's what we're building here. This isn't just this isn't a flash in the pan. We're already working on the next blend. Actually, yesterday I was putting some things together, trying to match the new flavor profile to what we have. So we're going to work on the next one. And for better or worse, we are nearly sold out of this one. So we're going on to an allocation model now. We're down to because said some of his favorite restaurants are now carrying it, and we're going to have some Lewis, and so we will quickly be sold out. And so we were looking at each other, I was like, dude, we got to really start thinking about the next vintage here, because we don't have enough wine even for the 2 events we're having. We've got an event coming up in Inglewood for the people who are out there in that region. We got some in Woodland Hills. Then we got some stuff coming up in St. Louis. And it's like, we don't have enough wine for these events. We need to good things. So gold medals and great things coming, and people, you know, and as cool as those things are, what I've really loved is just the look on people's face when they try it. They come out to our vineyard and I pour it for them, or Settle pour it for them, or these events we have, and people are like, whoa, wait, this is really good. It's like,
Yeah.
And I'm mainly excited because it is a Black-owned brand. You know, recently we've been doing a lot of tastings with Black-owned brands for Black History Month specifically, and I'm constantly trying to show people that there is a range of styles, not only just to drink wine, but even within Black wines or Black ownership of wines. Not every Black wine is going to be sweet. Amen. Can we just talk about it? Okay.
Amen.
And I think that this is a great example of a red blend, but that leads me to my next question. And then we have another question from our group here. So you said that you want to start with the red wine, a red blend. Are we going to see some other wines, rosés, whites, orange? Come on now. Are we going to do that? Or are we going to try to stay consistent for right now?
No, I think it's really wise, as we, again, I have a pretty, open palate. I like a number of different wines. And I do think that, of course, when you're trying to get people, that choice, naturally it would be probably to go to a white of some sort. So we have this, this beautiful red Napa blend. And then, is to look at the Chardonnays, or I'm a Sauvignon Blanc dude. So, it's a little harder, to kind of get it right. Because there are people who like either their wines really kind of full body. When I like my whites, I like them crispy and kind of like, bright. And so, I'm more Sauvignon. And then I saw somebody ask a question, what varietal I like the most. I found myself growing older. Cabs are always, Cabernet is like that big, bold taste that that you can go in there. But I like a good Pinot Noir. Like, I like me a good Pinot, man. It's my kind of, but it got to be a great one, though. It's got to be like, I don't like no light ass Pinot. So,
I don't like those either.
It gotta be one that people cared about. They got to care that they got the right grapes. They doing the right thing around here.
Yes, now I'm gonna be looking for this Pinot.
Yeah, that's when we gonna put it down. Like I'm gonna come back to that, or I might go to that next. I'm not sure. Minnie, and we got to talk about it. Well, we got to talk about it. I've been on that one.
Okay, we got another question here from Taiwoon 96. Is the Zetta the only one out that you two created? And so the answer to that is
yes. That is this is our first foray into it. We did, again, we developed it over well over a year ago. A lot of taking our time getting it right, and then it, like you said, it dropped and opened January 4th of this year. So this is the first one. Again, doing really well, as Ian said. You guys go Devereux.com. Sign up. Again, very limited. We're doing a very limited thing now because it was hot. It's the hot wine. You want to taste it. If you want to get your orders in, but we are getting ready to go to smaller allocations right now.
I know it wasn't y'all's plan to do that, but I feel like that was just great marketing. Have a small batch, we're just gonna keep it on the slide. We're gonna see what happens, and then it's like, boom, everybody
Yeah.
wants it.
Yeah, I mean, because again, I've been in many businesses beforehand. From owning hair salons to I got a hat company. I got and these things you jump out there and you can overproduce. You can be hyped up on your name and think like, oh, I'm just about to slang these joints, and find yourself just having a whole case of it at your mama garage. So.
And people do that all the time with wine.
Yeah.
All the time
And
with
so
wine.
Ian's great expertise. One, he's a real vendor, and he's a person who, as you see, is actually there in the vineyard. Like he's not like a guy that's sitting around in an office. Like, so this is like somebody who knows what's really going on. And he's like, I think we should do it this way. We're not in a hurry. We know that we've designed it to where we can make good money if we do it, and that could give good money to the charity if we hit our marks. That's great. And if that's all we did, cool. And if we took a L, then great. We made a great wine and we laughed a lot and we had a good time. But, if we hit our marks, then good. And all we can do now, we can just grow and build. And it's just a smarter way to do business as opposed to thinking you can just run out and just smash the game up. This is a very, very serious business. One, when you meet the farmers, when you meet the people who really grow and till the land and care about the land, you recognize that this ain't no disrespect. You don't want to come in and disrespect people who love what they do and they get up every day and they do it. And they really want to, give their customer base a good glass of wine, as opposed to people that's like, oh, I can make some money off this. It's the wrong approach, So I don't approach it that way. I came in willing to learn the slow and steady lessons and get great at it and just continue to give people really quality product.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Sisterhood of Winos has a question. What's your ideal pairing for this wine? And I would love answers from both of you.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I guess, for me, I like it. I think what I've been enjoying it the most is really with just kind of like, I call it when I'm just kind of noshing. It's like almost like charcuteries, like cheeses and meats, and I've had it like with a meal, which is great. I've slowed down where I've been eating a lot of red meat, so I don't necessarily drink this with fishes or whatever, but I would. It's still that good to me. But what I found most is that whenever we like have like a cool, like just kind of like cheese meat tray out, fruit, just fun foods, we just kind of nibbling. The wine is just rock and roll with that.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna just jump in real quick. Honestly, with the acidity in this wine and the tannin in this wine, I really think like a nice aged cheese, a nice aged Gouda, okay, would be a vibe for me. What about you, Ian?
Vibe.
Okay.
Would be a vibe. That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to get really specific with that, actually. There's a cheese that I tried it with called Midnight Moon that you can get at Whole Foods and a bunch of other places that is similar to a Gouda, actually. It's perhaps a little bit saltier and a little bit harder, but try it with Midnight Moon. That has been a really wonderful pairing for me. So lean into that. Or a Pecorino, which is an Italian cheese. It's also a little, for me, that Pecorino, that little bit of salt, that texture, that even that crunch has gone really well with it. My favorite thing that I've been doing with this wine actually is a fish. I've been doing a white fish with a red sauce. And so leaning like a Mediterranean style or a tomato sauce over a white fish, as I thought, just been wonderful. Just there's so many different complex flavors in this wine. I haven't wanted to go big. We've got an event at Larson's Steakhouse and they're pairing it with a filet mignon. I'm sure that will be, out of this world. So I don't think you can go wrong with traditional pairings for Cabernet, like steak or lamb or any of those meats. But I really like it with the more simple things that make the wine shine. So that could be a simple spaghetti, a simple pasta with a red sauce, a little bit of basil. Maybe when you're mixing the tomatoes up, maybe you get a little bit of red pepper in there too, because that's going to pull some of the red pepper from the wine. So a little bit of basil, but keep the dish simple. Find something that it's not going to require too much of the wine, so the wine can still be playful and complex, and find something, you know, that's going to pair with it and not take over. And so I would say have fun with this one. There's so many different flavors, so much complexity, and it's not overpowering. It's not overly tannic. It's not going to make your more delicate dishes disappear.
And, you know, I want
You
to
over
dive
here,
a
you
little
over
deeper
here.
with that question. So you said tomato sauce, which typically tomato sauce can be difficult to pair with because of how high the acidity is
Mm-hmm.
in tomato sauce. So what makes this wine work well with tomato-based sauces?
Well, for me, it's because it's such a balanced wine, but it also depends on what you're doing with that tomato sauce. And so for me, that's where the wine comes in and sort of balances out. This is not an intensely acidic wine. This is a rich, silky, smooth wine. And so it's able to balance out some of those acidic flavors. But also when you put the basil in there, then it's going to pair with sort of the lightly herbaceous nature of the wine. And then you get a little bit of salt in there. But that's also why I said put in some red bell pepper, actually. You nailed what I was thinking when I said the red bell pepper, because that's going to add some minerality and it's going to add some sweetness. And those two things, because this is not a particularly sweet wine, while it is fruit forward, it's certainly low residual sugar, low sweetness. That red bell pepper is going to pull away from the acid, and it's going to allow it to, you know, to blend together even more into a non-acidic. And what you're really trying to avoid there is bitter. That much acid along with an acidic or tannic wine, you're gonna end up with a bitter situation. And I'm not a bitter fan of that, and you certainly don't want that in your wines or foods in this space. So use that red bell pepper if you're finding any bit of bitterness, but it's really the wine and that juiciness and the palate that Ced put together that there's something. While a complex and nuanced wine, there's a simple richness to this. There's a simple richness, I think, like there is to, you know, to some of the sweeter moments in life, you know, there's not a lot going on. You're not at the top of the water slide. You're not racing in a car. You're just sitting there with the people that you love. And it's that simplicity that I found is so beautiful in this wine. And I think that is so beautiful with some of the more simple pairings.
Come on, Ian. Don't you love when
Yeah.
a wine geek? Okay.
Sorry about
With a
that.
That's
wine
Yeah, I
why I
go a
asked
little
geek.
that
excited.
question, because
Yeah.
I knew you was going to go in. I knew it in my soul you was going to go in. All right, we got another
Allow me
question
Yeah.
to
for you. But thank
Yeah.
you so much for your input. A lot of people ask so many questions about food and wine pairings, and so I knew you would totally just knock it out the park. Okay. Another question, and again, this is for both of you guys. I know that when I talked to Ian the other day, I know that you have a lot to say about this. As a diverse person, rock with it. How are you promoting inclusivity in the wine world? And we can start with you, Cedric.
Well, I mean, one, I'm me, so I'm
No.
diverse. I'm stepping into the game, representing me and what the wine is about. But even more so, I think, you know, the opportunity of meeting people like yourself, the opportunity of finding out a lot more diverse people are in this business in ways that are different than actually making wine. There's people who are having great wine clubs and buying wines and doing wine trips and vacations and you know, interesting groups that are out here promoting the business. And so I think that that's really, you know, smart. I think that, you know, the idea that we can see ourselves in this business now, learning, growing, tasting, becoming Psalms, you know, it's all these kind of things are just really great that I continue to promote and want people to be encouraged by. You know, in the past few years, we've seen, you know, a lot of the movies that come out, and you would see some representatives of our faces and our cultures. And I think those stories are even more so to be told. You know, we actually produced a show called Uncorked that we're out trying to sell again, where we have the opportunity to tell smaller, unique stories about those who make the wine, those who harvest and grow it, just every aspect of the business that people don't even know exists in, you know, in the distribution of getting that wine in that bottle into your table or in your glass. And so those are the kind of things that I can do with my branding and my business. And so that's what I look forward to. I'm having a great time doing it.
Cedric, can we talk for a moment?
Yeah.
Because the amount of DMs, emails, and text messages I received about that here movie, I'm
Which
still
one?
receiving messages saying, "Have you seen Uncorked?" Yes, I've seen Uncorked. I saw it when it first came out. Okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, people are still celebrating that movie. And I want to
Yeah.
just thank you for even being a part of that, because it's important for us to see us. We don't even know that wine is an option of a profession. How I
Yeah,
found out about it, it took a black somm, a black, Maia, who is a black sommelier, reaching out to me saying, you're interested in wine, go out, take some classes. And if you enjoy it, we need more black women in this field.
yeah,
Run with it. And that's what I've been doing. So you just showing up, you just telling stories, it means the world to us. Just so you
yeah.
know, in case no one told you. Okay. What
That's
about you,
dope.
Ian? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
You go
Well,
ahead, Cedric. Ah!
No, go ahead, Ian. That's dope. No, I'm
well,
just watching. I'm also. It was just funny you brought up the word DM because I'm watching this timeline and people really jocking you right now. You like really killing them in the game. Like, oh,
Me?
it's you got some super fans on here. They like, oh my God, she's beautiful. What the girl? What you talking about? She's pretty as hell. Like I had seen that going for like 3 times. Like you out here like. So your DM. Look at your DMs today. They're gonna be different.
Yeah, I'm
I
scared. I don't
guess.
want to look. No one's
Oh
ever
yeah,
in my
don't do it
DM,
then.
so
Yeah.
y'all don't have to start. It's okay.
All right, don't
Let them
do it.
be dry. But what about
well,
you,
this is a
Ian?
little awkward because I was pretty sure they were talking to me there, said, but now I'm thinking,
No, no one
They're
said.
probably talking to you,
you know,
Ian. Don't worry.
wow,
Nobody said
I
anything.
feel
Either.
lonely and confused. No.
I think it's the hat.
Right. For me, it was actually people like Noelle, who's on here. No experience, Noelle Burgess, and Bliss Bay, and Rose Bay,
Rose,
Danielle. Yeah, these are coming out, and it's like I'm hosting people, and I've always talked about how I love who you want to love, be who you want to be. When I bought my first house, it was in Oakland, and I spent all my time in Oakland, and I've always loved the diversity, and so I started by saying I don't know. I don't know what
Hmm.
it's like for other people, of no matter who you are, what color you are, who you love, whatever it is. I don't know, but I know that there are some problems, and if I can, I'd like to be a part of the solution. And I was hosting a group of wonderful women, all of whom were black, and they're from the Black Girls Wine Club. And one of them turned to me like, "You know what Napa stands for?" And I was like, "Huh." And I was really saying, I was like, "Does it stand for something?" I can't believe I don't know the answer to this. And she said, "It stands for No African People Allowed." And I was like, "Oh, seriously?"
Dude, when you said that to me the other day, it broke my heart. But
Yeah.
it broke
Like,
my heart because I know people
well,
really feel that way.
I was like, tell me more about that. She's like, we just came from a tasting where we sat down ready to join clubs, ready to buy expensive wines. We're all women with money. We're all women with, complex tastes. We're, we are, we're dynamic women. And who cares what color we are? We're here to join clubs. And we're sitting there looking at this other table across from us, and they're getting reserves, they're getting wine clubs, they're getting sold on all this wonderful stuff and poured all this wonderful stuff. And we're getting rosé and white blends, and nobody even brought us a wine club card. And I was like, wow, that's happening. And I thought about my experiences, and I thought about kind of what I'd seen. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do about that. And so I met with people like with Noelle, I met with others, and I've done my best to just ask questions. And everyone said, just invite people of every color, invite people from from everywhere to the vineyards, make sure they know they're welcome and that they're going to be treated like people, not any specific way because of any specific reason. And so for me, it's always been just to do that, to take the time to reach out to people who otherwise might feel excluded, and try to include them. And that goes for everybody. And I guess I've always been a little naive, simply because, like, living in Oakland and things like that, like, I've always chosen in my space to be surrounded by diversity, and I've always seen it as a wonderful thing. But that's not the way the world is, and it's certainly not the way Napa is. But I think that's changing, and I think it's changing because of people like you. I think it's changing because of groups like the Black Girls Wine Club that has chapters all over the place, and women like Erin Hill who are reaching out and who are celebrating not just Black vintners, but also celebrating vintners who have different gender choices or different choices about identity, and saying that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is being a part of the story, and hoping that Napa can change to be less exclusive and more inclusive in every possible way. And that comes down to not just who we are and who we welcome, and then it comes down to the way that we price our wines too.
Everything.
21-year-olds, they can't afford super expensive wines, so how do we get them to Napa Valley? We offer less expensive wines, and so it's about being welcoming and acknowledging that somebody like me does not have the answers. I don't, but I can certainly do my best to listen, and then be a part of the solution.
I don't know if I agree with that. You do have an answer. Your answer is being inclusive. Your answer is welcoming people into your space and being personable, you know, and educating people and not making people feel uncomfortable. One thing I tell everybody, which was a big lesson for me, we've been here. You know, when we're talking about diversity and inclusion, it's not like Black people just decided, I'm not going to say what I was about to say, because in 2020, everything that happened, oh, now we're interested in wine. No, we've been interested. When everything happened in 2020, the amount of wine professionals that already existed in this world, and I started discovering them, a little Black girl who's just decided to take this journey, I'm opening my eyes to a whole world that already exists. And that's what I want people to know. It doesn't matter if you're Black, white, purple, blue, or green,
Right.
you are already represented. We as an industry just have to do a better job of highlighting these people, of making sure that we're representing these people in our local stores, that we're requesting it and not just requesting it, but going out and actually purchasing, right? So you have an answer and you feel that answer by being who you are in inclusion and opening the world for everyone. So thank you, Ian, for that, for sure. Okay,
No
I'm sorry. I don't like preaching, but when it comes to people knowing your worth and knowing your value, you do have value and an answer in the space. So I just had to say that. We have another question. What are 3 things you want people to take away when experiencing your wine? And for anyone who just came in, you can also click the link in my bio, and there's a direct link so that you can purchase. And 10% is donated where?
To Red Rose Reads.
Okay.
Red Rose Reads.
We are supporting
Yep.
literacy.
Yeah,
Amen.
there
All
it
right,
is.
go ahead and
Right
answer the
there.
question.
Yeah, so I think of course the 3 things I want them to do to experience. One is the love that I have going into the wine. I think I want people to feel that kind of joy, the experience that I have when you have that when you drink it. The fun that I want people to have that experience coming out of it like this, that it felt good, it tastes great, and I had a good time. That's all I remember. I was drinking Zetta and it was a blast. And of course, really, I want them to have the desire to order more. You know, I want them to want that and go back in. So it's all about the joy and the experience for me is what I really want people to have. You know, when they look at it, they read the bottle, they see the story on the back, you know, all of these things just should bring you to the point of sensing that it's sincere, it's real, it's joyful, it's supposed to bring you joy. And when you taste it, I enjoyed it. Thank you. Bring
That's
me
how
some
I
more.
felt. That's how I felt when I read
Yeah.
your letter. I actually read it online before I realized it was on the back of the bottle. But
Yeah.
those touches, those small, it's not small, but those small touches, it means the world as someone walking into, like, I know it's not in the stores yet, because I really do think it's going to eventually. I'm telling you right now, amen. But when someone walks into a store, it matters. Number 1, the bottle is beautiful. Number 2, I read the back and I learn about the wine and I learn about the mission of this wine. I feel connected. I feel drawn to buy it. That matters to our buyers. And a lot of people feel intimidated because they look at a bottle of wine and they feel like, is this for me? Do I like it? Is it good? I don't know. Right? What about you, Ian? What are 3 things?
Remind me of the question. I got so into Sed's answer.
It's right here. What are 3 things you want people to take away when experiencing your wine?
3 things. Yeah, I think the first is the story. I think that's the most important thing to me is what's going on in the back and where did this come from? What is the mission of the wine? The other is accessibility. And that to me means that the flavors in the wine, the profile of the wine, it's not huge and tannic. It's not kicking you in the face like so wines do, but rather that's subtle and that it's rich. And 3 is that it's good if you like it. And yes, this wine is sustainably farmed. Yes, this wine is vegan. When somebody first asked me that, I was like, is your wine vegan? I was like, no, my wine doesn't eat meat. That is the stupidest question anybody has ever. And then I realized that, no, also no animal products. So it's important that people is a product here that Sed and I made this from vine to bottle. And so that's really important to me as well. So actually, I'm going to make that my 3rd thing is that people come away from this, that they know the story, that they know the quality, but also that they know that this is really an authentic wine that's about Sed and me. It's about the cause. It's about his mom. It's about his family. And it's about these beautiful vines and being a steward of the earth. And so those are That's like 7 things, and somebody else should start talking before I.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Come on, steward of the earth. I love it. Okay. So are there anything else we want to talk about? Because before we end, we are going to sing the jingle. All right. So I don't know if
What
y'all know the
jingle?
jingle.
You got a jingle?
I got a jingle.
You gotta pass out. You gotta pass out music sheets like when you like. Here's the jingle words.
The thing is, people say that the jingle gets stuck in their head.
I love
So
that. That's
it
great.
works.
That's funny.
But is there anything else y'all want to talk about before we skedaddle? I don't like
Well,
kidnapping.
I mean, I definitely want to encourage people. You know, a lot of times, a lot of people, I see people asking, like, where do you get the wine? You know, and it's all about, like, you know, is it in stores? And like we said, right now, it is an online wine, smithdevereux.com. Go there, get it, sign up, get the wine. Know that we will be coming into stores. There is several restaurants if you're in California, in Southern California, Davenport's in Encino, Larson's in Woodland Hills, Sherwood Country Club, Spanish Hills Country Club, I believe. And then in St. Louis, we're going to introduce it to a couple of restaurants at the end of March. So we're still closing those deals, so I'm not going to say it. But for you to get it personally, you want to taste it, you want to show some love, you want to show support, smithdevereux.com right now. It's not in any stores, so you can't run out and get it, you know, at this point. It's very exclusive. You will be a part of an exclusive group. Get the wine. That's it.
Easy link in my bio, you guys. I made it super
easy
Click
link.
the link so you can get there, okay?
Yep, and if you have any trouble signing up, just DM me. On the website, you've also got links directly to my to my email.
Like this.
I will answer your email. I will help you. You can DM me here too, but I can do it. I'll make sure it's not a problem. But you do need to subscribe first to Zetta on the page in order to get access to the wine. And so that's one thing that we created, and that was because so many people wanted it before it was out. We wanted to give those people the first shot at the wine, and it's been a wonderful thing because they all bought it, and then we actually had to pull back and actually pull it off the website because it was selling too fast. And we do have those relationships. Wow. Restaurants we made promises to and events that we want to have, and so what's Christian restaurant said? It's a Christian spot too.
Oh yeah, it's Tashio.
Yeah, Tashio's got it too. Nailed all
exactly.
That one's important. And then also we got events coming up at the Hills at 1010 Wine and Events. Look them up. Definitely give them a follow. They're doing some really cool things in Inglewood. So 1010 Wine and Events will be out there in March. And then we're also doing a dinner at Larson's Steakhouse. That's going to be a little smaller and intimate, but a whole food pairing. And so you can DM me or reach out about those too. We are not advertising them. You will not find anywhere, but if you DM me, I can tell you a little bit more about that. Take the time, try the wines. I think, you know, it's brought me such joy to be a part of this, and I'm grateful, and I'm grateful for moments like these. I'm grateful for both of you. So thank you, and for everybody that's on here.
Yeah, and I thank y'all both for taking the time to join me so we can talk. And again, you know, these tastings or these interviews that we do, it's all about wine lovers getting to know the wine lovers behind wine, right? So it's an honor to have you guys here. If you are excited to taste this wine, which means you're going to go to the website, click the link and purchase, or if you've already purchased, let me see some wine emojis in the chat. Let me know that you guys are excited and that we're going to support. Okay, let me know. But in the meantime, and in between time, we're gonna go ahead and close. So you guys,
you gonna give us the words?
Song. You better sing along. Tasting Thursday. Get it? Hey, Tasting Thursday. With your girl. The millennial song. And Ian and Cedric entertainment. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a blast. Again, click the link in my bio to purchase Zetta. Support literacy everywhere. Amen. Yeah. Again, we got Mother's Day coming up. This is the perfect gift. This wine is great. Come on, Red Blend. We love a great blend. We love a great Merlot base blend.
Yes.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining us today. Okay, so we're going ahead and skedaddle. Love you guys so much.
All right.
Thank you for joining.
Bye.